Hello everyone. The meaning of differentiated instruction by Eileen Hernandez. What exactly is differentiation? For me, that's a different approach that teachers use to adjust curriculum and their instruction in creating new learning ideas for students to engage in new learning opportunities in which they will learn multiple learning differences in which they wouldn't normally learn in a regular basis classroom. Some base strategies that help students with this instruction would be grouping them, assessing them in readiness, and having other options in which they can learn and demonstrate their knowledge. They will also be inputting effective classroom management procedures. How do teachers differentiate instruction? Teachers design lessons in which they will be grouping students. That way they can engage with them more than just having to do the work and having teachers help them. They can get help from their peers as well. And like I said, there's the readiness, interest, and learning profile, which will help the student throughout the process of learning, and how teachers can better engage their students in like a new concept, a new subject, and so on. And here again, readiness is in which refers to students' knowledge and skill, and it can be influenced by the knowledge they know, through what they have gone through and previous learning. This will also help them determine what kind of level they are, and where they need to be working at a certain level and stuff. So that would definitely help. And interest as well, in which what makes them be motivated and help them like having to break that ice into either being encouraged and doing other things, or being nervous and just trying new things, because as teachers, like since I have worked as a para, you have seen that many students don't like certain areas in which either it doesn't interest them, and they have like they don't want to learn that way and stuff. So that's why you need to just stop and actually think what might interest them and what they might like doing as well. Again, many teachers provide lessons that can be engagement and meaningful to students. The assessment results can help adjust instruction, because depending on that, the teacher knows exactly what needs to be done and what areas that student may need help in, and what could help. So there's just different types of things that teachers like off the bat know what can be a solution to that problem. Learning profile influences either females and males and different cultures. It's just a better way to perform like in smaller groups, and having that knowledge and knowing that they can engage with other students that may have problems learning a certain subject, or that they may not understand and not feel like left aside. That way they know that, oh, okay, this other person doesn't know what what is need to be done like in this assignment or whatever. And then having just, working in groups and having that confidence in what they're doing and what they're learning, then it's going to help them in the long run. So what does differentiation address? This just gives different teachers, like new learning styles and, classroom performance and assessment that, will catch on the students' interest. It's just a better connection between, I would say the teacher and their peers, because normally in a regular based classroom, you're just like stuck with the teacher, and then you have your classmates there, but you don't really get that hands-on type of thing in which I see in the differentiation classroom settings, that they're willing to work with you in however you best work in, whether it be with your classmates and, finding different methods in which you guys can engage that can get the job done, like it can get the assignment done, or, better understanding the concept and product and, just the interest, in how students put into, and, it's just really that connection that they have, and so I would say that it addresses more than a regular class should, but again, it just depends on everybody, and their own opinion. Why is differentiation instruction so important? As previously mentioned before, engagement lessons, and it encourages students a lot more. It gives them, the opportunity to just be themselves, just be who they are and what they know, and not if they're right or wrong, just let them figure their way, through the course of the class, and, engage them into different methods, and, grouping them and having them socialize with their peers will help. And as I was reading along, I was, it really caught my eye, because I was like, wow, like this gives more than, the regular based classrooms. And for me, I thought it was interesting. So what other things that differentiate learn promote? Like I said, it creates a strong connection between between the student and teacher. The content, the product, the process, how everything is working, how it informs the teachers, how they're doing, and how the student is responding to that. How did educators differentiate instruction? There are three main instructional elements, and as I say in the previous slide, it's content, process, and product, in which the content is just the knowledge that the student knows and must master in order to continue to the next step, which is process, in which that is the activities that are being used to contain certain information and certain content that the student must know. And again, this leads to the product, in which is a method in which demonstrates the learning knowledge of each of the student. What are ways in which differentiation instruction could be done? Exactly, there's no precise way, because everybody does it different. Every teacher is different. There's just a lot of flexibility done between this area, and it's just in-house the needs of the student need to be met, and what certain areas need to be mastered. So it just depends on the student and the teacher as well. Evaluating the student performance is exceptional, as done like throughout elementary and college, the rubrics into how you do certain assignments and how you're going to be graded, you know, and what kind of quality you provide into that work that you do is what's going to affect whether you passing or not containing that information and knowledge that you must need in order for you to pass that class. Portfolio is, you know, like containing certain work samples for a student that has worked, you know, like along the way of the semester or the quarter, you know, and just, you know, just keeping track and how well they're doing and how they've been progressing and stuff. And I mean, that will establish goals along the way, and it helps a lot. Self-assessment, for me, you know, it's kind of the same whether it's work environment or, you know, going to school and stuff. It's just assessing yourself in which areas you need help in what things you you know that you're doing right and things like that. And so, I mean, it helps a lot, you know, and it helps the students and the teachers and the parents know how well the student is performing and what areas they need help in. Assigning grades as well, it helps, you know, their achievement, growth, and habits. Differentiation in classroom, they are being graded separately because they want to know what you know in, you know, like certain areas, but and all together they sum it up into an achievement, you know, knowing that, oh, okay, well, this student knows this, and, you know, the other things, you know, like class participation and so on, those would be, you know, like in an email or letter being sent out to a parent or, you know, whatever in regards and how well that student is doing and stuff. How do teachers prepare students in their classrooms for differentiation instruction? Communication. Communication for me is a key because whether students, teachers, and parents communicate all together, it's what's going to make the students succeed and how everything will be done, whether assignments, projects, activities, everything will be done by the use of communication. So for me, that is key, you know, into creating that communication and, you know, flexibility and knowing that you can talk among each other and know that whether by doing so or, you know, saying what might be beneficial to the student will help, along with grading, evaluation, and the role that the teacher will be playing, which in many cases will be varied, you know, because there's more student activities in which, you know, they will need the help of a peer instead of a teacher. So, I mean, that goes along the way. What does differentiation instruction look like in the classroom? Like I said, many teachers will work with the easiest class and you know, group of students that it's most easier to work with, and also gatherings about information of students in which, you know, certain areas and, you know, surveys, interest surveys that they might like into doing inside the classroom, so that might help. Common practices at school, by lecturing, you know, that will not be beneficial because it will not engage students. It will just, you know, like have them bored and not just interacted in the classroom knowing that, oh, here goes a teacher lecturing, you know, and will not be positive at all. As well as, you know, not allowing them to take tests. It is beneficial for them to take tests, that way they can know that, you know, they can try, you know, they can keep on trying and striving for succeed. Grouping students, you know, will benefit them in the long run because it's letting them know, you know, that other students as well as their peers, you know, may not know certain areas and may know certain areas, so it just depends. The other advantage by them is giving them a bonus into class participation or not, and whether they know the knowledge. And so for me, everything's, you know, beneficial here except for 2 areas that were not, but it's just extremely important for you to let them engage themselves.